Hey everybody, this is Andy with Patterson Adjuster Training. As adjusters, we want to write accurate estimates. So what I wanted to talk about today is the difference between paint grade and stain grade trim. So when you look at Xactimate and Symbility, you're going to see a couple of different trim options in there. It's usually under the FNC or Finish Carpentry section. If you're looking at base trim, for example, you're going to see paint grade, stain grade, and actually Symbility, you're going to see MDF. So if you take a look at the screen, that is the Xactimate line codes for paint grade and stain grade. And you can see the differences. And now you can look at the screen and see the Symbility line codes. But really, what are the differences? Can't you paint both? Can't you stain both of them? Well, absolutely you can, but that's not really the way that they were manufactured. Plus, there's a price difference on both of those items. So let's take a look at the differences up close. You can see what the difference is. So we've got our trim here. Now this is actually stain grade, this trim piece here. And if you flip, you can't really see it because they painted it. Looks like at one time this was stained. Looks like they had some stain under there. You can see right here on the edge they kind of had some stain, but over time they just decided to paint it. So, but if you look at this, the whole length of this trim, there's no joints. It's just one solid piece of wood. Now this piece of trim is actually paint grade, but they stained it. And so you can see right here, in between those two lines, that you've got this finger joint right here. And then you got another one here. There. You flip it over on the edge, you can see up close that finger joint as well. And you flip it over, you see a seam here, you see a seam here. And so this is actually paint grade material, but they stained it just to save a little money. But if you look at this piece, this is actually paint grade too, and it has joints in it, so you don't really see them. So this one is paint grade, but they stained it. This one is paint grade and they painted it. But if you flip it over, you'll be able to see the joints. So there's a joint. Actually, there's one. There's another one here. But you flip it over, you're not able really to see the joints in here. And so that's the difference between paint grade and stain grade. Paint grade is cheaper because they can put a lot of little pieces together. Now this is MDF, which is just basically sawdust glued together and pressed and formed into molding. And you could stain this, but it would look really weird. You can see here on the edge, it's basically just sawdust glued together. And this is paint grade as well. It's not stain grade. So as you can see, the stain grade is more expensive because they cut it out of a long piece of lumber. And to simplify paint grade, what they do, again, is they just glue a bunch of pieces together, small pieces, then make one long board. So that's why it's more expensive. But anyway, I hope that video helps. I will see you in the next one.